Before we get started, please subscribe to my channel below and click on the alert notification symbol. That way you'll be notified every time we publish a new video. Hi, I've 5 questions and 5 minutes, so I'm going to dive right in. Jeff asks, can foreigners buy property in Europe? Jeff, absolutely, pretty much everywhere in Europe, foreigners have the same rights in terms of buying and property ownership as locals. So that's a yes, yes, yes. And pretty much take it that if you're hearing about property opportunities in RETA or Real Estate Trend Alert, you can take it that foreigners can own there, because quite frankly, if you can't own or if there are very heavy restrictions, which there are in places like Asia, it would just be a bad idea to buy there. Okay, Paolo says, I'm looking for a starter property that I could rent out. What areas in Spain and Portugal would you recommend? And do you have any listings I could look at? So Paulo, Spain and Portugal. First of all, in Portugal, I'd recommend the Algarve or Porto. And in Spain, I would recommend the Costa del Sol, in particular in the area around Marbella. But so the key thing with both those places is that you have an extremely strong and robust, and in the case of the Costa del Sol, pretty much year-round rental market, and also in pockets there are places that you can buy at lower prices. For example, in the case of the Algarve around Tavira in the eastern Algarve, condos there have a get-in point of around 150,000 euros. Also in the western edges of the Costa del Sol, you can get in at those kind of sub 150,000 euro starter prices. And also remember, in Europe, because you can borrow 20 to you can borrow 70 to up to 70 to 80% of the purchase price at sub 2% interest rates. It also means that you're going to be into the purchase for a lot less than if you were buying in a market that was a cash market. Okay, Kate says, hi Ronan, I'm an Irish lady living in the US with an American husband, and we would like to buy in Portugal's Algarve, which we love. Can you tell us how we go about getting financing at these great rates? So Kate, in your RETA Rolodex, there's an introduction to the mortgage broker I use, and who has been coming to me with mortgage offers as low as 0.86%. As an Irish lady, you likely will have access to lower rates than North American. So I'm also Irish, so because of EU nationality, I can borrow for about 0.86%. Local Portuguese can borrow even less than that, and North Americans, it's more in the range of 1.3 to 1.7%. Scott Sawyer asks, are there any opportunities in Lisbon or Porto? Well, first, Scott, in Lisbon, you have the opportunity to lose your shirt. I'm calling a big crash alert on Lisbon. It's got way, way too expensive, unsustainably expensive. If you like Lisbon, wait for the crash. And then in terms of Porto, yes, there's still really strong opportunities in Porto to buy a big old mansion and convert it into maybe 6 to 8 rental condos that you could rent on Airbnb, rent long term, resell, or any mix of the above. There's big opportunity to buy old mansions, put a bit of creativity, money, time, and work into it, and then at the end you'll have something that's worth a lot more than the inputs. And just before I wrap up, Paulo also asked, do you have any listings I could look at in Spain and Portugal? So, Paulo, if you're looking at Spain and Portugal, first thing you should do is download the Idealista app. basically it's a listing site that contains pretty much every property for sale in Spain and Portugal. You can search by price point, you can search by geographic areas, you can draw in maps. It's a really useful tool for doing your research. That's idealista.com, and there's a great app. In terms of the best deals and the best opportunities, I bring them to RETA members via what I call flash alerts. So that's when a contact on the ground has a motivated seller, someone needs to sell fast. Thanks to our group buying power at RETA, we get very big discounts. So, for example, just a couple of weeks ago, RETA members had the chance to, if they were willing to move fast, buy a home on the Algarve at a price that had come down from 395,000 euros to 290,000 euros. So the best deals are motivated sellers. Do your research on Idealista, pick an area where you want to buy, and then find a motivated seller. And pretty much all these questions, I'll be addressing in greater detail in Project Prosper, which RETA members will know all about. And indeed, we're having our live event in a couple of weeks. So if you're not already signed up for Project Prosper Live, RETA members, you'll be getting your notification how to log in, how to access the live event. And if you're not a RETA member, you'll be hearing in your alerts about how you can participate.